Hello, my name is Zach Bruner from FlurrySports, and today I want to introduce to you a new fantasy football tool at FlurrySports.org. It's our consistency and boom or bust rankings from 2020. These are a great research tool for 2021, whether it be for season-long leagues, best ball, DFS, what have you. Let's take a look at it. Okay, so let's jump into this table right here. We will first just go over how to use this table, how to navigate this table. Pretty simple, but you first look at it and it could be a little bit overwhelming. It's a lot of players. We rank the top players at each position, so yeah, it's a lot of guys. You jump in, initially it's ranked by top scorers last year in PPR format. So Alvin Kamara was the top overall scorer, followed by Josh Allen, Devontae Adams. No surprise there. If we wanted to look at just a specific player, let's go Stephon Diggs. We see he's wide receiver 2, plays for Buffalo, played every game last year, was a boom 31% of the time, a starter 81.3, and he was never a bust. We'll go over what these three things mean in a little bit. And honestly, the way we evaluated these three is why our rankings separate themselves from other sites. But first, this filter tool is your friend. Trust me, you don't want to be scrolling all day long going through this thing. So if we want to look at quarterbacks right away, click that. We have the top 40 quarterbacks on the board. And this is a good way to jump right into what is a boom, a starter, and a bust. Because different sites have these types of rankings. They're not all grouped together like ours. That sets us apart for one way. However, there's more ways because our evaluation process, to be frank, is just better. One way I can say this is, where is he? Where is big boy? Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill, quarterback 31 last year, played all 16 games. If we want to calculate every single game into him being a bust, I think that's incredibly stupid, especially if we're evaluating him as a quarterback. He played 4 games as the main quarterback, as the starting quarterback. There will be a note written on the page once this is finished to say this, just in case someone didn't see this video, just in case you forget. So yes, he played 16 games. Yes, he finished the year with 144 fantasy points. However, I am evaluating him on those 4 games because those are the 4 games we care about as a quarterback. And oh, by the way, he was a boom in one of them. He was considered a starter in all of them. Alex Smith is another example. I'm evaluating only 7 games for him. I included that number here because I think there's a game where he came in like the 3rd quarter, maybe the 4th quarter, and maybe he played well, but obviously 1 quarter of action versus 4 quarters, he's not going to be one of the top scoring quarterbacks that week. So why would I penalize somebody for playing garbage time duty? It just doesn't really make sense. I'm not using that game to evaluate his overall value, right? So the big question now, Zach, what the hell is a boom? What's a starter? What's a bust? And that is what sets us apart, okay? So a boom for the quarterback position is different than other positions because why? You're starting 1. Unless it's a 2 quarterback league, a super flex league, that's fine, but most people don't play that. You're starting 1. And there's only 32 in the entire league at most being a starting quarterback. So, a boom percentage. To be a boom in fantasy football for the quarterback position, according to me, you need to finish top 3 in the week. This means Josh Allen was a top 3 quarterback nearly 44% of the time. It also means Jared Goff was never a top 3 quarterback. It means Joe Burrow was never a top 3 quarterback. Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, whatever, Drew Brees. He wasn't a top 3 quarterback, so he got out of town. He's retired. He's done. Starter. To be a starter, you need to finish top 12 at the position. Now, I did this because I did a poll, I talked to you, and I found out most people play in 10 or 12 team leagues. So obviously 12 team, 12 quarterbacks, perfect. If you're playing a 10 team, Quarterback position's pretty deep anyways. If you started the 12th best quarterback, it's probably not much different than the 10th best. So 12 is the magic number for quarterback. Mr. 12 right here, Aaron Rodgers, was arguably the most consistent quarterback. I'm not going to consider Taysom Hill because, again, we are only grading 4 games. But Aaron Rodgers across 16 games was a starter 81.3% of the time. He was a bust just 6.3% of the time. Now, a bust at the quarterback position means you finished outside the top 18. This means you probably didn't even want to start them in a 16-team league. And that's why 18 is the magic number. Top 18, you're considered fine. Quarterback 19 or lower, that's where these numbers come in. Alex Smith, even though I took 1 or 2 games out of there, 85.7% of the time he was a bust. Drew Lock, 69.2, nice. Not really. He was a bust. Mitchell Trubisky, Matthew Stafford, half the time. That's where this comes in. Now that you have a basic idea about what these are, let's zoom through these other positions. Let's start with tight end, though, after quarterback, because tight end is the exact same thing. So tight end, you're only starting 1 most likely, maybe 2, but top 3 is a boom. Travis Kelce holds it down. Starter, top 12 at the tight end position in a week. Again, we're taking PPR scoring into account. Travis Kelce, top 12 tight end, nearly every single week. Basically as consistent as it comes. Darren Waller also pretty good. Now bust, you need to finish outside the top 18. Anthony Ferguson definitely headlined that. He played all 16 games. All but 1 game, I do believe he was a bust. That 1 game he balled out. Man, he was a top 3 player. You don't want that. Do you want to take a guess when Anthony Ferguson is going to catch a touchdown? Because I don't. Zach Ertz. 82% of the time, Zach Ertz was a bust last year. Coming from someone who owned Zach Ertz in a league, unfortunately, that sucked. So you're using this table. You can see who's going to be boom or bust, who's going to be trustworthy. What do you want from your position? If you're drafting early, you don't want someone who's going to be a bust. You don't want Zach Ertz. You don't want something like that. If you're playing in a best ball league, you don't care about starter percentage. You care about boom, because the busts don't count against you because you have other players. If you don't know what a best ball league is, if that sounds intriguing to you, that you're looking at boom and not bust, go to FlurrySports.org, type in best ball. Right there, baby. Type in best ball. We got you covered. We'll tell you what that's all about. But then for DFS too, if you're playing in a 50-50 contest, maybe you're looking for these starters. Maybe you're looking for consistency. If you're playing in GPP, you're going for number 1. You're trying to take down the tournament. And for that, you're looking for outliers in basically every single position. You're looking for the top scoring team amongst thousands of people. So you're trying to hit on these booms. And that's another good way to use this tool. Now, kickers we'll go to next because it's the exact same thing. Top 3 kickers is a boom. Top 12 kickers is a starter. Matt Gay, never a top 3 guy, never busted. Right down the line there. He did a good job. Bust outside the top 18 is a bust. Philly, Jake Elliott. Rough year. Rough year to put it lightly, huh? Now let's go into the positions that are a little bit different. Running back, you're starting most likely a minimum 2, up to 4, maybe 5. So, to be a boom at the running back position, you need to finish top 6. Again, PPR scoring format. Christian McCaffrey played in only 3 games, but was a boom every single time. Dalvin Cook played in 14 games and was a boom half the time. The guy's as consistent as he comes, but he's also going to put up the top numbers. That guy's a monster. Alvin Kamara, same thing, monster. Derrick Henry. Like, these are guys you can get excited about because not only do they bring the consistency, they bring the top numbers as well. Starter. To be a starter at the running back position, you need to finish top 24. Again, 10 or 12 team leagues, that's the most common. So 12 team, 24. I understand you may be starting running back 26, running back 27 in your flex. Not very often, though. A lot of times that's where the wide receiver is going to go in. A lot of times you may have 3 or 4 top 24 guys. So to be a starter, 24 or higher. Again, Dalvin Cook every single week for 14 weeks. The man is consistent. Bust. To be a bust, you need to finish outside the top 36. A lot of these names will not be surprising. You have backup running backs. You have handcuffs. You have Cam Akers, unfortunately, was not. He was a handcuff for fantasy, but he was basically handcuffed on the sideline too. Broke out at the end of the year when he got the opportunity, but he racked up a lot of these bust weeks early on, unfortunately. A guy like Rex Burkhead's interesting. 20% of the time, he was a top 6 guy. 20% of the time. 30% of the time, he was a top 24 guy. But then half the time, he was also a bottom 36 guy. That's New England inconsistency for you, right? But that's what this table shows you. Finally, let's go wide receiver. You're starting a lot of wide receivers, probably 3 at a minimum in a PPR league, up to 5, up to 6, never know. Davante Adams is the dude. He is the guy. Half of the time, he was a boom, and a boom for wide receivers is also top 6. 50% of the time, blew everybody else out. Starter. To be a starter at the wide receiver position, you need to finish top 30. Again, 10, 12-team leagues, top 30, that's pretty safe. That's pretty safe once you get to 40, stuff like that. You can have some pretty bad weeks and still be 40th, especially when bye weeks are considered. So I kept it at top 30. And again, Davante Adams in top 30, 85.7% of the time. Stephon Diggs, 81. Tyreek Hill, 80. Chris Godwin, 75. To be a bust, you need to finish outside the top 48. And a lot of these names probably will not surprise you. They're not really number 1 guys. You look at Marquez Valdes-Scantling, led the league in yards per reception, made a lot of big-time catches, made a lot of big-time drops, and those drops led to 68.8% of the time him finishing outside the top 48 at the wide receiver position. So, if you have any questions at all, tweet at me at FantasyFlurry on Twitter. I can answer your questions. Also, I want you to tweet at me or leave comments in the comment section of this video. Please, tell me what tools, what stats, what do you want from a fantasy football site? I'm trying to give you some of the best stats out there. I have more cooking. I have more I'm about to show you. But I also want to fulfill your needs. I'm a people pleaser. What can I say? So let me know what you want to see. I am damn determined to do it better than everybody else out there, as shown by this table. There is no other boom or bust or consistency rankings on the market that is better than what you're looking at right now. I can promise you. Because they make sense, because they evaluate the games that need to be evaluated in terms of for quarterbacks. Determining who's a boom is smarter than any other site. Who is a bust, smarter than any other site. A starter, better than any other site. We use PPR, not standard scoring, because we're not stupid. We're adults here. We play PPR scoring games, you know. We're not... Catches mean something, right? So, this is all PPR scoring. Again, tweet at me, leave comments. Let me know what you want to see. But until next time, I'm out. Later.